to mount our decoder buddy. And we'll tighten that front truck up just a little bit. That's too tight. Still too tight. Okay. That'll work. Let's go ahead and tin these up, and let's see, we're going to have 3 functions. So I'll put resistors in there. So I've got track, rear light. Need my motor. Both speakers. I'm not going to put a keep alive in this. I don't think. Track and front headlight. Well, let's go ahead and, while we're here, we'll just tin those 4. Let's see, let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see where I'm going. So that's the positive for the keep alive. It's a ground, speaker, track, rear headlight, rear light, track, motor positive, front light, or front pickup, front light, pickup. Okay, there's that. Now, I want to get some, no, I didn't. We'll use the positive there, and then that A2. Of course, it doesn't matter for our flashing light. There's that. All right. Some alcohol here. Clean that up. And let's see. Go ahead and clean this off. That may be a little close. on our decoder buddy when we go to set this thing in here to solder. So what I'm going to do is I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that running over. So I'll hook my track pickups. Boy, I wish I could run that under there. But I can't. That's fine. I have plenty of room. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off there. Make this one the same length. I'll go ahead and solder these. I'm just putting some flux on those right now. Tin that up. There's one. There's two. So now we'll go ahead and strip these. Oh, yeah, let me strip these. We'll tin those. Now before I solder those down, I'm going to take and clean the back of this board off. I've already cleaned this. So that's that. I'll put my double-sided tape down. Get that in there, make sure I don't get it on that flywheel. So we've got that. Go ahead and get those started. There's that. Let's see now, I believe I have enough room up there to, yeah, to do what I need to do. Okay. So there's that pickup. And that pickup. Now we just got to do our motor wires. So our orange is our positive wire. That's M1 on these Decoder Buddy Minis. And there is clearance there between the back of that board and that metal. Okay. We'll be able to try this thing out here in a minute. Get our decoder out. Stick on it. We'll tin these wires up. one. There's the other. Okay. So now, what did I do with my... I got to dig the decoder out. I'll be back. Okay. I've got the decoder here in my hand. I guess, let's do this. I'm going to test this thing just to make sure that we're good, that we're not touching anything that we shouldn't be. Hopefully you'll be able to hear if that beeps. So we're good on our frame. Good on our motor, and we're good on our pickups. So that's what it would sound like if we had a problem. So let me get my meter out of the way, and we'll slide our decoder on there. I'm not going to push it all the way on, but there's our decoder. And just for the heck of it, there's our body on there. Oh, let me zoom out. Everything slides on there nice. We got plenty of room. Alright, now I'm going to try this thing out. I'll be back. Okay, I've got my power cab out there, and you can see the amperage it's running. I've got it up on the test track on the stands running. And you can probably hear it. I don't have the speaker in there or anything, but you can see the amperage jumping around there. And I'm... Of course, you know, these things set so long and the grease hardens up. And when I first started this, it was running up at almost 0.5 amps. So the longer I run it, the better it's getting. Right now we're jumping back and forth between 0.28, 0.26, 0.33. So the more it runs, you know, it'll break in. But I just wanted to show you that. That's one of the great features about these power cabs, is they have that amperage reading on there. So just thought I'd show you that. Alright, we're back. So everything works right now. We're ready to hook up our speaker. And what I'm going to do with the speaker in this, I've got these two ESU sugar cube speakers, and we are going to hook those up. We've got our little case here that we've made up. This is just, these come in a kit. Well, and I just put that away. But yeah, these are just ESU sugar cubes. So we'll take them, we'll put this enclosure together. And I won't have to mill anything out for this. This is just one of their normal double enclosures, and it fits perfectly in this space right here. So, saying that, I'm going to take and put this first piece together. Just use some plastic glue, plastic weld on that. we'll let that sit. And then let's see. Yeah. Turn those sideways like that. I'm going to have to put a little bit of RTV sealer in here between these two, because if I put this together, it doesn't seal in the middle. So let me get my little bit of sealer out. This is goop, actually. E6000. And I just don't want to cover up the gap that I have. So I'm going to try and get some of this excess off. So there's that. Now I'll put this together. And that will seal between both of those. And I can take some of my welding cement here. Put that together. Okay, so there's that. And now I can take and put these speakers together. Let's see. I'll use my Plastruct cement for those also. So that'll be the speakers together. Turn my soldering iron on. The next thing we'll end up doing, I still got to put lights in this yet. So let's see. I still need to order me some black wire. So for this little section right here that I'm getting ready to hook up, this will be in series. So got our negatives and positives here that we got to get right. I'll flux my wire up. Then we can tin that. Clean off the tip. I haven't cut that to length yet, but I do want to tin my speaker, and I want something to hold it here. That way I won't pick it up. So there's that. Nip that off. A little bit of flux. Turn that around there for a second. I don't like how that was. Didn't like the way that looked. Okay, so that's that. And I'm just going to use white wire for this whole little operation. Let's see, that'll be there. Am I going to have enough? I may have enough to do both right here. So I'm going to go ahead and strip this, both sides. And then I'm putting some flux on those. There's those tinned. Now I'll tin the in the speaker. Okay. So now I'm ready to cut that and hook it up to the decoder buddy. Take that out. I want to pull the decoder off very carefully, not to bend any of the pins. We're going to use these two. Let me zoom in. We're going to use these two terminals right here on the decoder buddy. This will sit perfectly in here, and I'll fasten that down here after a while. And then all we'll have left to do is our lights. Okay. Ready for solder. There's one. And there's two. Now I'll straighten that mess up after I try this out. But right now, I want to try it out. So I'll put the decoder back on. And let's see, I'll bring you back here in a second. Alright, we're back. I did try it out, and it does work, but with the dual speakers, and I know what it is, the chamber's not big enough for both of these speakers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back through and unhook and resolder this to where I'm just going to use the one speaker in this configuration. So let me pull this wire off. So I'm going to there'll be an extra speaker in here, but we won't be getting any sound out of that rear one right there. So yeah, I was hoping, and I think I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. That way that'll lay a little flatter. So yeah, sometimes more speakers isn't always a good thing. So we'll go ahead and flux this. Now, with this one speaker, because these TCS decoders put out 2 watts. I'll turn the volume down to at least 50%. So let's see, let's get this pulled off of here. So right now, where we're sitting, we've got our speakers in, decoders in, and I mean the shell just slides right on. So now we're down to where we got to put our lights. So I've got a rear light. I've got some Details West parts coming for these Strato lights. And then we've got a headlight and a headlight. So, alright, I'm going to zoom back out here. And actually throw that little bit of stuff away. I'll get ready for our lights and then I'll be back. Okay, we're back. We're ready to start working on our lights, and I just want to do this as simple as I can. I wonder if I can get this light pipe out of here without breaking it. I don't think yeah, easy peasy. Alright, there's a couple ways I could do this. I could go through with my individual LEDs and put 1, 2, 3, put 4, 5 in there, and then with the light 6, 7. And I could also light the number boards. That would be 9 LEDs in this. And probably because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'll probably do that. But the other thing I could do is reuse this light pipe, glue 1 single LED on there, and that would light all 3 of those, and then glue a single LED back here in this one. But I don't think I'll like that. I could also, I don't know, I don't think I'll get those number boards out. So, I guess, just because, I am going to get out at least 7 LEDs, and I'll put them in those openings. See if I can get this one, the rear one's pushed out. Yep. Now where did it go? There it is. So there's that. Set that off to the side. I'll have to dig my lights out. And I'll dig me a weight out here. But I'll set this up to where I can put these LEDs in. Rubber band around this thing. All right. So that'll hold that. And now I'm going to go through and get straighten my LEDs out the way I like them. And then we'll twist them together. Yeah, got a cut. So that'll be one. Now I just need to get out some more. What did I do with them? All right, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my LEDs here that I'm going to feed down through. Oop. Well, okay, it didn't fall all the way through, luckily. The more I work on this little model, the better I like it. I didn't think I would, but it's had its own little challenges. So there's that. Let me pull that up just a little bit. Okay. Now we'll get out our micro crystal clear and a little applicator. And I do like this little method of putting the lights in. It does take a little more time. Because everything has to dry. But I think in the end, it is worth it. It's worth it to me anyway. So now I can push these down through. So now you can see my little white dots of micro crystal clear. And all we've got to do is let that dry. That's the hard part, the waiting. So that'll be 3. I don't want to fool with putting in the rear lights until those set up a little bit. The number boards, I think I can just take LEDs and glue right to the underside of those, and then that way we'll have number boards. So that'll be 1 function, 2 functions, 3. So we'll have 4 functions on this, front and rear, and yeah, that'll work out. I'll have to add some more. I think I'll have to add another resistor to the decoder buddy. But for now, we're going to let that sit, and then when it dries, we'll move right along. All right, we're back, and all the lights have, well, the headlights have set up, front and rear. Now we need to take and hook them all together. Need to add our ditch lights, or not ditch lights, but number boards. And I still think I'm just going to take and glue a bulb right to the back of those. Excuse me. So let's we'll start. Turn my soldering iron on. I've already taken and, well, I kind of took these and stripped them and put them together just to test one. But let's go ahead and twist that back together. And then we'll be able to put a dab of solder on that to keep them apart. I'll go ahead and strip these. There's one set. There's a second set. And then we can get our third one here. All right. Go ahead and twist my blacks together. Okay, since I've got that in my hand, put some flux on it and solder it together. That way I won't have to worry about those coming apart. I've still got to put the strato lights in it yet too. And I had to order some of those, so I won't be able to finish today like I wanted to. Got one there that I've got a little shorter than the rest. Pull that up. All right. So there's all three of those. And I'm going to try that and see how they work out. All right. I know you can't see that, but they do look pretty good. Now, take and solder the rear ones together. Okay, there's that. Now I've got these twisted together thing I'm going to do here is get out some heat shrink and here's the piece I'm looking for. I think all three of those will just make like a little, to neaten this up a little bit. This will hold these wires together. Make for a nicer job. Let me get one more piece here. So that'll keep our wires nice and neat. And I'll put some on the back. Let's go ahead and we'll shrink this down just a little bit. That way those won't move. Pull that one out some. Okay. So there we've got our headlights made up. And we'll cut some more heat shrink here. Let's go ahead and cut 3 pieces of it right now. The other thing I can do with this is when I get done, I can glue these to the roof of the body there, and that'll keep it up out of the way. There's that. Then we'll get our last piece on here. Okay, so there's our headlights. Like I say, I can put those in. I'll be able to glue those down. But now, let's get this out of the way. ahead and put in our number boards. And I don't know, maybe that'll pop out the front. Nope. Don't want to push on that too hard. Oh, there it went. Of course, the windshield is right in the way. Yeah, I'll just try and... Oh, there. I can pull it out the front. See if I can break this one loose. Yep, I broke that one in half. That one was glued in better. Well, I think I can still salvage it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can still salvage that. So, let's get out a couple of more lights. Pull that out, that out. So the number boards do come out, but be careful with them. Luckily, I can get that one back together. Okay, so before we do anything, I'm going to take and twist my wires together. So there's that one. And what we'll do is, let me zoom in. There's our broken number board. Here's our good number board that we're going to use. And I'm just going to glue that right to the light. But what I'm going to do is set me a drop of glue out, and then I'll use just a piece off of a resistor to dip some glue in. Just a little drop. Okay. And that's all we need. That's stuck on there. Now, just for a little bit of reinforcement, I'll put some glue right there. We'll let that one sit. Let it dry. Get out our second one here. And I'll start twisting these wires together. Okay, now we'll get our broken light board out. And luckily it broke just on the other side of the 4. That's actually where I need it. Make sure that was laying flat on there. So that's stuck. So now just to reinforce it, now it moved. I thought it was stuck. Oh, it is stuck. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're good. So now I'll put a little dab. Glue right there to reinforce that one. Zoom back out. So I wonder, let me get this first one back out. I'm gonna test that. And we'll see what it looks like. Now I know you can't see it on the camera there, but I can read that. It shines, it's a little too bright for the camera. And this one, the headlight, we'll put probably a 750 on it, maybe 1,000. These I'm going to put 2,000, at least 2,000 on them, ohm resistors. So now we'll feed this back down through. glue that from the inside. Let me get this little dab of glue up before I stick my hand in it or stick something that I don't want to stick to the table. Okay, now we'll have to take and paint these because we'll get some serious bleed through on that if I don't. So we'll feed this one through. That is our number boards. You really can't even see that where that's broken. So, alright, so I've got that. Now we'll take a little bit of glue on there. And I'll have to get my wires out of the way because I can't see. Okay. There's our number boards. We'll let that dry for a second. And then we can twist them together and put some heat shrink on them. And we'll be done. We'll solder them together. Then we'll be done with our lights other than our strato light. Well, I wish I had those. But they'll be here. So right now, we'll step back for a minute and I'll be back. Okay, we've given that time to dry. And so now I'm going to take and these number boards, I'll strip the wiring on those. And then we'll be able to solder them together. For some reason, I've got one unraveling here. Yep. Okay. So while I've got that one in my hand, go ahead, solder it up. So there's that. So I'm going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I'll have 9 LEDs in this when we're all said and done. But I think, of course, like I said there a little bit ago, you know, the more I work on this, the more I like this this little locomotive. Not a big Amtrak follower, but you know, these old Bachmanns, they run pretty well. So we can take that. Oh, I want to put a few pieces of heat shrink in there, just to have some of that holding power on that. Make that a little neater. Get in there. There's that one. There's that one. We got one more. And there I just dropped my, well, no need to keep looking. I got a whole stick of it there. Get down to the end and start having a rough time. Okay, so there's all of that. Now I'm going to light this up here and see what it looks like. Actually make sure that it works. Okay, we turn the voltage down on this a little bit. see what we got when it's not so bright. So 5 milliamps is a little low. So is 10. Yeah. We'll go with 20. And I know you can't see what I'm doing here. Okay, they work. So, anyway, now the only lights we have left to do are the strato lights. And I'll be able to finish those when they come in. What I do need to do is take these wires out, and I am going to put some black paint inside. And I just use this Model Masters paint for that. I've had good luck with it with bleed through. Let that dry. Okay. Might as well put some on those headlights while I'm there. That way they won't bleed through. And light the interior up. And I'll do the same here on the back. Okay, so there's that. I've blacked out the light boards, the headlights, the rear lights. And that will work just fine. So we can set that out of the way. Now We are back to our decoder buddy, where we have to put our resistors in. After I get these resistors in, I think I'm going to paint this frame black. It looks horrible. So let me zoom in there a little bit. So everything works right now. We're all good. Let's see. So I know this is my rear resistor, and I'm going to go with 750 on the resistors for those, for the lights. I'll have to, I can't remember, I think one end or the other is the headlight. Yeah. Let me just find out here. Actually, I'll have to go to the pin. So let's eliminate it this way. So the far end over here is A1. That's A2. So A1, A2, and that'll be the front headlight. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Too much. Okay, so what I did there is, I know this is A1 and A1 and A2. Actually, vice versa. A1, A2. So I've got it on A1, and so that one right up there is A1. And we'll come back here, A2. And so this one is our headlight. Of course, now I can't read off of it because it goes through that pin. So that's our headlight. So now I'll get back out get the flux back out. Just go ahead and flux everything there. And then we'll put some flux here on the back. And I can open these resistors. So 750 for the front and rear. And I'll do this rear one first. I stuck my finger in the flux. Let me redo that. So there's one. And then there's two. Now, Oh, well, that's already got solder on it. I don't have to. Okay, so we'll get mad at myself there for a second. Forgot that already came with the solder. Now I'll get my little skewer out here. Let me turn this around. So there's that one. It's the front. Uh-oh. Get off of there. I got it stuck on my soldering iron. That's not it. Well, and when I knocked it off there, I lost it. Okay, well, don't worry, we've got others. Okay, and I know that's has a lot of glare on it. There's one side, and there's the other side. Okay, so we're good there. That's the front and rear lights. So A2, I need to put some more flux there. And I can 10A1. Okay, there's that. We got $1,000. So they will be a little dimmer, but let's get 1,000 one out. I need to order some 2,000. So A2 will be our A2 will be our number boards with 1,000 ohm resistor in it. What did I do there? I moved it. Okay. Need to clean some of the flux off. Yep. Let me clean that up a little bit. Getting to the point where I can't see what I'm doing here. Okay. So get out another one. Boy, if I could just stick them right down on there like that when trying to solder. Yeah. Well, good Lord. Okay. I believe that got it. Except I think I need to put a little bit of solder on that back side. That was painful. Okay. Wow. So that's one of the great things about these decoder buddies. You can put in different values of resistors for whatever you're working on. So let's see, I want to get out another 1000 ohm one for the strato lights, and hopefully this one will go a lot smoother than the last one. Couldn't go any worse. Let's look at it that way. Turn this around. We'll just touch that. There. I've got my heat set up pretty high right there. That way I can just touch that and it'll work out. Because the less time you spend on that board, the better off you are. And I still may add a keep alive to this. I've got it soldered up there ready to go if I want to. Dry that up a little bit. sure what size keep alive to put in there. I've got a KA1, they're long. I don't know if that would, boy, if it would fit right here, but I don't know if it will or not. Maybe I can stand it up right there. But anyway, right now we're good to go with all that, so I'm going to take a little break. Okay, I've come back here, and I do have a KA1, just happen to have, and it will fit quite nicely right there. So there it shall be. Actually, let me turn it around this way. Then I can run my wires right over. My decoder will still, actually, let me move that for a second. Set the decoder on there temporary. So I want to keep it as far over here to the edge as I can. Okay. Well, that's no big deal. All right. Glad I already pre-tinned all of that. So there's our ground, our speaker positive. And there's our ground. Like I say, I wasn't going to do this, but I think I like this thing so well that, well, why not? And that way you'll see how to hook up a keep alive again. Okay. There's that. Little flux. And then turn the soldering iron back on. We'll let that warm up. So what I think I'll be able to get back in there. Actually, okay, yeah, I won't fasten it down. I'll still connect it. What I'm thinking about is how I'm going to solder the rest of my wiring on. But I'll still be able to get to all of it. So we'll grab our positive. Put that down. And then we can grab our negative. So there's our keep alive. Now I will have to make sure that's out of the way when I put the body on, because there's a screw that comes right through there. Which that's no big deal. I need to put a piece of double-sided tape back here on the speakers. But other than that, I'm going to get out two more lights, and they'll be for the strato lights. Close that up. So let me get that out of the way. Yeah, get that out of the way. We'll zoom out. We'll twist these up. Okay, so there's that. After we get these done, we'll be ready to put this thing back together. All right. So I'm actually going to take tighten that one up a little bit. We'll strip the end off on both. There's that. Now I can put these together. Break out the flux. The solder's all the way over. Couldn't reach it. There's that. Today is a good day to be doing this because it is pouring the rain down. It's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve 2020. Well, I thought I had that. So like I say, it's pouring the rain down. It's supposed to snow. Looks like we'll have a white Christmas and a cold Christmas. I believe it's supposed to be down in the teens tomorrow. About 15. It's 50 degrees right now, and it's going to turn into 15. So, all right. Now those will just stick up through the hole that I've got there. Let me go ahead and put some heat shrink on this. That way we can keep them together. There's one piece. There's our second piece. And I'll cut one more. Doo-doo. All right. So there we've got our lights made up. We can go ahead. I'll bring this down here. All of my reds will be together. And they'll go on a positive. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Well, yeah, it is. Okay. My headlight positives will all be together. That's number boards. Okay. So these are already all together. We can go ahead and trim this up. And get those hooked up. Get out my pliers. So our positive will go to the U plus. Actually, let me get this thing out of the way. I'm going to turn this around. Okay, I've got it set where I need it. If I can grab a hold of it with my tweezers now. There's the positive side. And there's our function side. So the number boards, well, let's do this. Yeah, let's go back to our rear light. So we'll trim that off, trim that off. And our red is our positive. There's our red. And there's our function, or negative, however you want to look at that. So now we've got our strato light and our number boards. I am going to hook the reds together on them. Because they don't have their own pads like the rear does, rear and front. Trim that off. And I hate to let go of that thing since I have it in my fingers. But there's that. And the functions and the number boards both have 1000 ohm resistors. So cut that off. We'll hook it to, yep. See if I can just grab the thing with my fingers. We'll put it on A1. And then we'll do our last one. Okay, there is all of our functions. Let me go ahead and I'm going to pull this out. Put a piece of tape on that. And I'm putting that diagonal on there just so it'll bridge over that gap. And well, there my speaker came out. Well, I know what I'll do with that, because I wanted to take one of those out anyway. Turn that around. Okay, there's that. Yeah, I'm glad that came off. That'll save me a speaker. Evidently, I didn't have it glued very well. Huh. Or maybe even not at all. But anyway, there's one wire. There's wire number 2. All right. Now I just got to find my speaker parts and get that piece and put it back on. All right. Okay, now let me zoom out here. Well, yeah, the other way, dummy. Like I say, these are for the strato lights. Okay, now I can set that in there. I'm going to put the decoder on. And I can run those out the side. Okay. Turn this around. All right, now I'm going to glue those wires down into the bottom so they won't be moving around. and then I'll be able to stick these 2 wires for the gyro row lights down through there. Alright, I'll do that off camera. Okay, we're back, and I know I'd ordered some strata lights for this thing, but if you remember, when I took this apart, this is the original board out of this, and these are the clear lights that were for the strato lights. Well, I didn't remember it while I was working on this, but it just came to me. I've got these are a 3mm LED, and they're warm white, and they fit perfectly in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just use these, because I did put one in there just to try it, and they look really good. I think they look like the factory Bachmann ones anyway. So, but I've already I'd hooked these 2 up, so I'm going to take and cut these LEDs off, and I'm going to wire these 2 3mm LEDs in here. So let's do that. We'll go ahead and let's see, let me even that out a little bit. Because I mean, these LEDs are still good, so I can use them for something. Let me move that down. We'll take and strip these off, hook them together, and this will finish this locomotive up too. Well, other than putting the couplers on it. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll go ahead and solder. So I'm going to do these one at a time just so I'll remember what's what. And actually, I can take it. So the long leg on the LED, that is the positive side. So put a little flux on that. So that's that. Go ahead and flux the wires up. that's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. I'll cut that down a little bit. So there's our positive side. Cut that off. So there's one. So I'll go ahead and trim. Trim that up. That's that. Get out my other one. So I'll move that out of the way. Trim those off just a little bit. So there's my positive hooked up. Now all I got to do is trim them off. Trim them off and install them. Okay, so there's that. Turn the soldering iron off. Now, we just got to put that in that little hole. There's one. Well, come on. Trying to see what is in the way down there. Got it started, just got a wire there. I don't think, nope, didn't go all the way in. There it went. So that's what it looks like. And I can glue those in. I'll glue them in and put some, actually I want to try it before I do anything final with it. Just to make sure that the lights work. So I'll be back. Alright, we're back. We've got this set up here and we've got it all completed. Got new couplers on it, new KDs. Of course, everything else is all ready to go. So let's take and plug this thing in and we'll run through the startup sequence. Now I did change some of the CVs, and now it's not prototypical. The horn's not, the prime mover's not. I put in what I liked. So, saying that, we'll go through and we'll listen to what it sounds like. Okay, so I've ramped it up a little bit, and I'll turn it around here, and I've turned the headlight on. Okay, now we'll go into our light mode. Turn our number boards on. Of course, that flash is just I have it a constant setting, but it's cycling with the frames per second on the camera. And then turn on our strobes there. So there's all of our lights. Now I'll go back to
sound mode active.
So we've got everything all hooked up. It's all running good. There's really nothing to show you on the back. But I mean, for what it is, it's a nice little model, and I really do like this for some reason. So, alright, we're going to slow her back down. And that'll put us at stop. So, alright, we're going to call this one complete. Thanks for watching.